Boxing truth here. Amir Khan's about to get sidestepped, and he's about to be asked out early next year as he's not in the plans for Danny Garcia. The plan for quite some time is for him to match his two champions in the welterweight division in a possible unification in the first quarter of 2017. That's been the plan for quite some time. And Amir Khan's about to get sidestepped, and he's about to be asked out. And right now, he's butthurt that he's gonna be stepped over. He's gonna be passed over in the favor of a unification bout between Garcia and Thurman for early next year. It doesn't matter that Amir Khan is the mandatory. He's been the mandatory for a long ass time. And it's his fault that he doesn't have that WBC strap or he hasn't enforced his mandatory shot. He's been chasing an imaginary fight with Floyd Mayweather for years and never materialized. Actually signed for that fight for absolutely nothing. From the flat fee offer that Mayweather gave him, signed for the fight, and Mayweather ended up fighting Maidana twice. And now, Amir Khan is in no position to demand these fights as Garcia is not really interested in fighting Amir Khan again. He already whooped him, stopped him in 4 rounds. He was the underdog in the bout and doesn't see really much of a need to fight him again since the first fight. It was a clear victory. A stoppage win within 4 rounds. Garcia is not really that interested. Garcia's father's not that interested. They want other fights, showcases. And then if they're going to take a risky fight, it most likely will be with Thurman and the unification. And Amir Khan, he's asked out. Was chasing big money fights, was chasing the superstars, guys, for so long. Wanted no parts of none of the Al Heyman guys at that time. Didn't want no parts of Keith Thurman. Thurman has been calling for that fight for the longest time. He feels he'll chin check Amir Khan. He probably would. Amir Khan never wanted any of that part of Keith Thurman. Wasn't really trying to get the Danny Garcia rematch. Was always trying to get fights with Mayweather, Pacquiao, and then eventually got Canelo in a bad move on him. I mean, business-wise, it made sense, but he ended up getting knocked the fuck out. And he's in the position still as the mandatory, but that could easily be not granted since a unification bout will overrule the mandatory challenge. Now, Mauricio Suleiman, the president of WBC, he's treated Khan good with his position. Despite Khan moving up in weight, he still allowed Amir Khan to maintain his position as the mandatory. But like I said, it could be easily offset by a unification bout, which is now the plan, and it has been for a while, for Al Heyman to match Keith Thurman and Danny Garcia in early 2017. Now, get Danny Garcia, he's going to be in a major bum fight in November on Spike. He's being downgraded after being a headline on Fox. Got a career-high purse, but he's having trouble finding an opponent simply because he doesn't want to pay top dollar for an opponent. Now, when it comes to his next opponent, the guy that beat Guerrero, the cab driver from Argentina, it's a possibility. He's a strong possibility. He fits the bill. He'll come cheap. He ain't going to make no huge demand for a purse. He can probably get that fight done by offering the same money that Garcia's team offered Sam Eggington, $100K, maybe $125K. That's money the cab driver from Australia, Peralta, whatever his name is, has never seen before. So that fight could easily be made. He's within the top 15 rankings, so it's definitely a fight the WC would sanction. But going from the opponents that Garcia's mentioned, or the reports surrounding who's next for as an opponent, only one of those opponents are even ranked within the top 15 of the WBC, and that was Andre Berto. But Andre Berto is not going to come cheap. So obviously, he's not going to be the next opponent. Considering he's not going to come cheap, it's a safe fight for Garcia, but Garcia ain't going to pay that much money to fight him. He's going to want a decent purse to get back in the ring, So he needs a guy that's going to come cheap. Peralta fits that bill. However, there's been mentions of other guys outside the top 15 WC rankings, and it'll be disappointing if Mauricio Suleiman grants sanctions a fight for a guy not ranked within the top 15, but Heyman can probably pull it off if he promised Mauricio a very good sanctioning fee for a possible unification with Keith Thurman thereafter that fight. The November 12th date on Spike in Philadelphia. Garcia's first fight there in quite some time. Hasn't fought there much in his career. And for Amir Khan, he's asked out. Didn't want that rematch. Didn't push for it, even though he was in position for the fight. Didn't fight for a vacant WC title when he was the guy rated number one or the holder of the silver title. He was pushing for the biggest fight he can get. He got it, got knocked the fuck out. And now these guys in the welterweight division ain't worried about Amir Khan. They're looking for unification bouts. Garcia is going to take care of his next cherry pick in November. Then he's going to fight Keith Thurman. That's just the way it is. And Amir Khan signing with Al Heyman has done absolutely nothing for him. Simply signed with Heyman a few years ago only for the Mayweather fight. Never got it. Hasn't gotten the fights that he's wanted, or hasn't really pushed for fights that he's wanted. Has been playing it safe, not taking the type of fights he needs. Has been settling for safer fights in order for a big fight to fall in his lap. He got it and didn't go his way. Was in over his head. Guy thinks he's as good as Mayweather. It's just delusional. And now he's about to get passed over for Keith Thurman in unification. And Amir Khan can't do a damn thing about it. And I don't know what his plans are. There's been reports he wants a tune-up in early next year. The guy fights once a year. Still delusional as ever. Still thinks he's a superstar. His stock continues to drop after every knockout loss he receives. And now he's going to have to wait in line for his eventual shot, whether it's a Danny Garcia rematch or maybe Keith Thurman, whoever wins the fight between those two. If in fact that fight goes down between Garcia and Thurman in a unification bout next year, which has been the plan for quite some time. And I don't see that plan changing, since I don't see Keith fighting for the rest of the year, even though he stated he would like to. He has no problem to. But it doesn't seem like Keith's going to be fighting for the rest of the year. He'll wait for the unification bout with Garcia, and it makes sense. Both guys have mandatory obligations, but if they unify, it will easily overrule those mandatory bouts that both Keith Thurman and Danny Garcia have. And Amir Khan and Keith Thurman's mandatory will have to wait in line until Garcia and Thurman settle their business. And for Amir Khan, he made his decision. He decided not to pursue the WC title. He decided not to fight Delvin Alexander in 2013 when Alexander was the champion. Could have gave him more leverage at the negotiating table. Maybe could have given him a better shot at getting the Mayweather fight. He's made so many bad business decisions that have not been beneficial to his career. Signing Heyman has done absolutely nothing for him. Maybe he should have stayed with Golden Boy. Maybe Golden Boy could have gotten them the Pacquiao fight. But, he made his decision. He signed to fight Canelo. Got knocked the fuck out, and look at him now. Not much. Not really desirable opponent for Garcia. Thurman ain't really thinking about him. And he has to wait in line. And who knows what Khan does now. Recovering from hand surgery. Maybe he should take a tune-up. I mean, why jump in a very dangerous fight? Because I don't think he beats Garcia or Thurman coming off a concussive knockout loss like that against Canelo. The confidence is gone. Psychological issues. Getting slept like that, especially for the third time. Amir Khan just might be done. No longer. Well, I don't think he's a top level fighter at all. I don't think he has been for quite some time. Ever since he left Freddie Roach, he hasn't been the same fighter, and he's regressed. And fighting once a year is not going to improve matters. Amir Khan's done, man. Maybe one more big fight, then he's going to get chin checked and flattened once again. And that'll be the end of Amir Khan as a top fighter in the sport, even though, in my opinion, he hasn't been top level for a number of years. This is Boxing Truth. I'm out.